You're in the kitchen.
Welcome to another edition of Pressure Cooker. Today we have an amazing group of guests to join us. We have Jaume Martinez Vich. Is that right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, just like that.
Perfect. We got J.W. Johnson, and we've got Etta Wright. Etta Wright.
Yeah.
Is that right? Etta, is that right?
Yeah, Marietta's
Okay.
my name.
Right. And so a great group of three players that had phenomenal weeks this week in Texas in the heat. It was very hot. First, before we kick this thing off, I want to say shout out to our sponsor, Lotto. Jared's got the shoe. Fantastic shoe. You guys can check them out. Get anything you want from Lotto over at Fromouth Pickleball. They're a good sponsor. Also,
great shoes.
And I happen to be drinking a Fat Tire beer. So shout out to them. All right. So this week, Texas, really, really hot. Is it a good time to be playing in Texas in the middle of June? Jaume, you did pretty well, but you're from Hawaii. You're actually from Spain, but live in Hawaii.
Yeah, no, I felt like I'm at home. So finally, I played a tournament where the conditions fit me the most. And not only that, I am a player that I like bad conditions. I like wind. I like extreme hot. Everything that is extreme, I like it, and I play better with it. So definitely, my least preferable tournaments are like indoors, perfect conditions. I like when it gets dirty.
I like it.
Nice. What about you, Etta? How did you feel the conditions were this week?
It was really humid, and just like Jaume said, I actually really like the humidity, so it kind of fit perfect. But I think it's also just a mental challenge because everyone's having to face the elements, and it's kind of just like, okay, who's willing to stick through it mentally when it's super hot and you're tired and the ball feels like mush out there. So yeah.
And Etta, where are you from?
So I was born in New Zealand, but for the most part, grew up in California.
What part?
The Bay Area.
What part?
Palo Alto, Menlo Park.
Nice. Very cool. I was in the Bay Area for 15 years.
Oh, sweet.
J-Dub? Sorry, Jason.
Yeah. Well, J-Dub, so hot weather. You did well also. How do you feel about it? You're from Florida. You must have liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just used to it because I'm out every day, doing the workout, just playing pickleball almost every day. So I'm just kind of used to it, but it was also really tough even for me too. It was pretty hot. I think a little less humid than Florida, but it was still pretty tough.
I was holding a camera just sitting there for 3 days, and myself and Dane, we were struggling, and I could not imagine playing high-level pickleball. I've never played high-level pickleball, but playing pickleball at all in that heat. So no one almost passed out.
Don't think so. Maybe Jaume. Maybe you did. I don't know. But didn't.
During my matches, I don't really sit. So when the people ask timeouts, I walk around a little bit. So I did get dizzy from walking around, which that I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm getting myself dizzy. Then the other person, the other opponent is trying to serve, and I'm dizzy because I just walked like an animal in a cage. And I'm like,
Jaume, don't walk in circles.
I know. I realized about my lesson now. I was like, God damn, what the
Well, lesson learned, everybody. Don't walk in circles when it's really hot out there. But and seriously, when it's that hot and it's that humid, are you preparing? Are you eating? Are you hydrating differently than normal? Etta, did you do anything to?
No, I mean, I honestly have a hard time drinking water. So I had to remind myself to drink water because I did cramp last year on the live stream because I didn't drink water and it was super hot. I think this was in one of the SoCal tournaments. And so I learned my lesson then that I have to make sure that, I'm hydrated.
Yeah. J-Dub, you do anything differently?
Well, definitely had to drink quite a bit more than I do at home because at home I don't necessarily drink enough, and my mom's always on me about, is that like a shot glass you're drinking or something like that? So I definitely had to bring more gallons.
You have that huge bottle. What do you have? A big day one bottle. What is that? Just for show?
No. There's usually water in that one, but I didn't bring it this time.
All right. Let's go to, on Saturday of the tournament, it looked like, I'm not sure if the PPA bust in a fraternity or if they just happened to show up, but center court was pretty wild. The most wild we've ever seen center court at a PPA event. It felt a little bit like MLP, to be perfectly honest. What did you guys think of that? Did any of you have an opportunity
Etta,
to play?
you played on court with them, right?
How was that? Was that a good environment? Did you like that? And then kind of a question to everybody. Do we have rules in pickleball? Are we like, is it free for all? Is that okay? Or should it be more like tennis or golf? Where are we on that spectrum?
Anyone
Etta?
can jump in.
Go ahead.
Who's the question for?
Let's go Etta first. I want to go Etta. Etta was there.
Personally, I loved it. I mean, just walking out there, they didn't get my name right. They called me Anna first off, and then they called me Edna the second time, and they finally got it right. But no, I really enjoy it. I know most of the time I'm not really super paying attention to it, but it makes it for like a fun time for like everyone in the crowd. And then I also had like family, in the crowd too. You saw one of my cousins. I got hoisted up.
She's amazing.
So she's
she
awesome.
showed up on the last point of the what was it, the semis?
Yeah.
And she like came in like a hurricane, and then you guys lost. And I told her, I said it's your fault, but
well, and forgive them for getting your name wrong, Etta. They had a lot of Vizzy, I think. So
Yeah.
that was to be.
It wasn't busy. It was a lot of beers. They were just feeding beers.
J-Dub, did you have an opportunity to play on center court on Saturday?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I thought they're loud, but I mean, I kind of like that. And they even had posters for me that said like JW as El Hombre and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty funny and just stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I kind of liked it. I didn't have a problem
Nice.
with it
Well, I
at all.
saw they were actually pulling for you quite heavily, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah.
Wait, who did you play in that match?
On Saturday?
when the frat bros were there.
Well, I know I played Riley and Matt. I know I played them. Other than that, I don't think I was on center court that day.
Jaume, did you see him?
Yeah.
Nope. I didn't step anywhere close to the central on Saturday.
I saw you playing over on the side courts actually versus ATN out of Austin.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't play much doubles as you could see. I play more single style, just drive the ball and crash. But coming back to the question of what I think about that is, I think it's great. If for me, also I think I like chaos. So the more the better. If it's against me, against. If it's with, I really don't mind. In fact, when I played the final with Ben on the second set on the game point, there was a guy on the right, and before I served, he went, "Miss it!" And I looked at him, I laughed, and then I probably played the best backhand passing shot of the entire match. So, and then I looked at him and was like, "Yeah, I like it."
It was so interesting. I was talking to a lot of players before they went on court, and they were asking what the strategy was to get on their good side, because I was hanging out with the fraternity. And I was like, I would go and start talking to them, sit with them, maybe give them a beer. And like Riley had a very strong plan, and then within minutes, everybody turned against him and was pro Aiden. And then the same thing happened to Lucy. Lucy's like, "Oh, they're gonna love me." And then you were playing Lucy, right?
Yeah.
And they were like not into Lucy and Callie at all. So I thought it was pretty interesting to see who they gravitated towards.
Pretty interesting. And what do you guys think about the rules in terms of behavior? I mean, are we okay with the free for all? Ed, are you all right if people are screaming during a point, or do we need some kind of rules around this?
I think during a point, no. So Don Stanley actually had to come up and say, "Hey, if it's bothering you guys, especially during the point, once the point is done, like you can scream your head off." But I think just respecting the play while players are, actively in the point is, I think, something that should be at least talked about, or some rules around.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously there are some moments and points where you think it's over or something incredible happens and there are gasps and people are screaming and they can't believe it, and that's part of the fun. But it's a hard, line to draw of where we want this to go because we are making the rules as we go, and it's really interesting to see how the PPA and MLP seem to be courting a little bit rowdier behavior. I think gives it a certain energy. It definitely differentiates from tennis and golf. What about you, J-Dub? What do you think?
Same
as who? Etta, same as me? What do you mean? You can't just say same?
Nah, I mean, yeah, during the point, probably just try to keep it silent. But after the point, yeah, I mean, you can scream, yell, do whatever you want.
I think like right before someone's about to dink, like Pablo took it pretty hard from those guys. They were like screaming as he was about to dink, and like that just didn't feel right. But
yeah, I love it right after like somebody misses a dink or something, like, oh, and then you're like, well, yeah, I agree with that. It is pretty heartbreaking to miss a dink or something like that.
Didn't someone yell like somebody do something?
Yeah. That was wild.
It was pretty aggressive there for a minute. Like people were just screaming, like miss it or like hit it harder, like right as someone was about to hit the ball. I thought that was bad form.
But were they pickleball guys, or did they just show up? They just happened.
They knew very little. I asked them if they were good. They were like, "We're all terrible," but they loved it. I mean, they were very into it. What was interesting was Tom Dundon, who, for those who don't know, I know you all know this, owns the PPA, or he's a part owner of the PPA. He was there, and I was standing with him, and they were asking, like the fraternity was asking the etiquette, and Tom was like, "Just have at it." He's like, "This is great." And the rumor has it that they bussed them in. They bought the bus, they bought the beers, and they were like, "Have a great time." And I thought it was brilliant.
It definitely had a feel. It had a vibe. So it was interesting. Let's switch course here. A couple of things happened in the tournament. A couple of video reviews that took place, and I wanted to get your take on this. I was watching one where Deckel was called for a foot fault, where he kind of dragged his toe on the kitchen line. He challenged it, and then it came back. And I think that they're looking on monitors now on the actual. Is it the actual referee? Do you guys have any idea of how this works now with the video challenge? Is there a booth where someone's doing this, or is it the referee themselves that is officiating the challenge?
I personally think that this is one of the things that has to be improved, because we challenge stuff and we have no idea what's going on, and then they just come out with a decision and it's like, okay, based on what? I didn't even have the chance to see. Like when I played Federico, I did play a drop shot that went over the net. He was behind the baseline probably, and the drop shot bounced backwards. If you see the video in YouTube, it bounces twice before it hits the metal bar. I got a redo because they said they hit the metal bar. However, it hit after the second bounce, which that makes no sense for me to get a redo on that, right? But I didn't have even the chance to say it's after the second bounce, not after the first one. After the first one, okay, but he didn't even run either way. So on that, I was a little bit skeptical of how the rules are according to the challenges and all that stuff.
Were you playing him on center court?
Yeah, it was central court, and so
was that quarterfinals?
That was semifinals.
Semifinals. Okay.
Yes, and so after the match, I went to see the match online in YouTube, and then they do have slow motion replay from the point, and I cannot see how my point was not valid according to like the rules I know, because the point was over before any medal was touched. But the at that point, it's good for me too not to see it, because I assume the call is right? And I just go, okay, it touched the medal, that's the rule, and then I leave it. Otherwise, I don't know how I would take mentally that I think is not right, and I see it. But yeah, I mean, that's what I think.
What about you guys, Etta? Did you have any challenges
No, I don't think I was playing mixed with Dekel, and that's actually when he challenged his the foot call,
Right.
and I feel like I could probably pay a little bit more attention, but we don't see anything. We just
Just get
see
the
them
answer.
look at the monitor, they give the decision, and then we move on.
And so
But
Don was the official for that one, right?
yeah, I think so.
And so I was watching then, and I saw it, and it did not look like he had faulted. It looked like his foot was over the line, like did not come in contact with the line. But when they reviewed it, I think it went to Don to look at. So it was his call, which
Yeah.
feels like that doesn't feel right. And I'm not even sure that's how it works, but that's how it seemed to be presented to us as an audience member sitting at home watching on YouTube or ESPN or whatever was on at the time.
Yeah.
But it felt a little weird because if it's a player calling a line out and it gets reviewed, I could understand the official looking at it and making the call, but they're overruling their own call and they're not going to do that.
Yeah, interesting. I really don't know the process. I should, but yeah, I don't.
Well,
I feel like that
haven't
should
been
be.
informed.
I feel like
That's
it should
my
be transparent.
right. That's part of my question. Is that has it been made clear to you? You're a PPA player, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and J-Dub yourself. But have you ever been briefed
Mhm.
on what the process is and how it works? No.
And it's also changing like every week.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that would all be news to me.
Crickets. I'm going to add in the cricket sound here.
I have a side question. J-Dub, have you ever played Jaume or vice versa?
Yes, I have. One time, and that one time was the start of this year at the Masters, and he was coming out of the qualifying actually, and I thought, okay, you know what, it's just another qualifier, this, that, and the other, and then I go out there, and he's like hitting lines, hitting everything else, and I start to get annoyed. I'm like, why is this guy doing this? Like, can he just not hit out? Like, and he's running for everything too, which not every qualifier does. I'm like, what is going on right now? So then I think I think he actually won the first one, like 11-1. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is really hard right now. And then somehow I won the second one. I don't know how, because I was definitely not wanting to run at all. And I won that one, and then the third one, I don't know. I just got lucky that match.
I
That's all I
actually
can say.
remember-
I was going to say, did you not want to run because you were wearing very tight pants?
Cow pants.
I don't no, it wasn't that day. It was the following day when I played doubles is when I wore the tight pants. If I wore those that day, I for sure would have lost.
I actually remember driving. I think Jason, we flew to Palm Springs. It was like, or maybe the day before, and I remember seeing that you got destroyed the first game, and I was like, "What is going on here? I don't know this Jaume guy." And ultimately, you won, but it was a sign of things to come, apparently.
Well, that was Jaume's coming out party.
Yeah,
also.
I do.
He played doubles against Ben and Colin, and
Yeah, but that was
put
out of the
on a show.
qualifier, right?
Yeah, that was first round of.
That was an entertaining match for sure.
Well, they made it
Yeah.
for sure more entertaining. Like we played good, but they literally played a little bit around with us.
That was fun.
Yeah. I also remember I played Hame and doubles too. I remember it was in Arizona. Yeah, that was different. But yeah, that one well, that one I didn't have to run as much, so it was a little bit better, but he was still really good in doubles too.
Hey, Jaume, being that you are a Spaniard, how is JW's Spanish going? And in all seriousness, is he getting mad respect from the Spaniards and the Spanish speaking?
Hey, you know what? Every tournament that I see him, he has 2 new words, so it's going really good.
Yeah.
So he has what, 6 words right now?
I mean, I what? Yeah, I have 6 words.
What do you got?
For sure.
Give us something. Give us a little taste.
Words? Well, I got igualmente, mucho gusto, gracias, de nada. What else do you want?
What was the first one?
Igualmente. Well,
You're not sure.
I heard it from Gabe, so I don't know if it's true or not, but it's supposed to mean same.
Yeah,
Or
likewise.
likewise. See? Okay, there we go. Okay. And then mucho gusto, nice to meet you. So, I think I'm getting this a little bit. ¿Cómo estás? Como te va, I think is another one.
Yeah.
See, right? Oh, let's go. See, I'm getting
Hey, I
this
love
language
it.
down. Hopefully soon.
You're gonna
Yeah,
get
right.
into
And
the
me.
into the Latino crowd. It's gonna go on you now. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hopefully.
So good. So one other question I have about kind of rules and what was going on this week is going back to a couple of weeks ago when Travis Rettenmeyer apparently challenged Tyson's paddle, and there was a little bit of confusion around what an actual challenge looks like. Have you guys been briefed or understand what the process is to be able to challenge a paddle? Etta, any ideas of how you go about that?
No.
I
J-Dub?
did.
Yome?
I did have a bunch. I probably have the most information here because usually since the last couple months, like every time I had a match where I'm hitting the ball clean, like people usually say that it's because my paddle, which I don't think why. Like the paddle is great, but I can curve the ball with selker with anything. You know, it's the way I hit it. But a lot of times I've been called out of that, and so I've been going continuously to Carl, the person that's making the paddle test and all that, and I'm asking like all this bunch of information of how it works. So, and after it happened, all these disqualifications in I think it was in Newport Beach that somebody got disqualified for something like this. I think the new rules are
Yeah.
that you can challenge a paddle from the opponent, and then the opponent can either continue to play with the paddle challenge or either change it right away and play with a new paddle, and then the paddle will be challenged later, but then you don't get fined because you didn't play anymore or disqualified. You change your paddle.
But the person who challenged gets fined $250 if they're
If
wrong,
it,
right?
yeah, which I think that's great. You know, like I mean, you're changing your paddle just so you don't know. I mean, I test my paddles every time before the match and after on purpose, so I know clearly what's going on. If a paddle is like orange or green or red, you know, depending of how much usage it's qualified on, then if the paddle is, I get challenged because of that. If my paddle was green, I'll definitely continue playing, and this guy's gonna get fined. No questions about it. You know. But I like that they made more rules like this because it was getting a little bit wild of everybody just saying, "Oh, challenge," you know,
Yeah.
and so that at least gives a little bit of a framework for players to be like, okay, at least if I challenge for no reason, I'm paying $250. Well, that's pretty cool. I think they should pay to the other player. You know, if they challenge
Right.
me, they should pay me $250 if my paddle is good.
J-Dub, what about you? Have you had any experience with challenging paddles, or has anyone ever challenged your paddle?
No, I've not challenged anyone's, and nobody has challenged mine. Though I do find Federico and James's challenging the paddle. I feel like that was a pretty funny encounter for sure.
Were you there when that took place?
No, I actually wish I really would have been because I heard both of them were just trying to peg the other one. So I would have loved to be there to just watch that. But no, I unfortunately wasn't there. I just saw the I don't know. I think it was either a tweet or it was on Instagram. I don't know. It was one or the other. But
Was
I
that
found
in
that
this last
pretty.
tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so who challenged
Mm,
who?
Fed
Fed
challenged
challenged
James's paddle.
James.
Oh, James hits pretty hard,
yeah,
honestly.
And like you said,
he
they were
does.
attacking each other. So
Yeah, okay.
Jaume, you mentioned you can curve the ball. I know J-Dub, you played pro tennis for a minute. Jaume and Etta, do you have a pro tennis background? What's your background?
Well, I know Etta was playing with me in Hawaii, so maybe we learned it in Hawaii. It's a Hawaii thing, okay? People don't understand.
So
But
y'all both played pro tennis?
we play college. Yeah.
College tennis. Okay.
Yeah, so I actually know Jaume before pickleball. So we were on the same island on Oahu, playing on in the same division, different teams, and our teams were rivals on
Oh, wow.
on the island. So their men's team was pretty sick, and so they usually beat our team. And I would say that our women's team beat
Yeah.
their women's team. So
Yeah. And
that's as far as my experience in tennis went.
yeah. Yeah.
Very
And
good.
I played pro back when I was a teenager, like 15, 16-year-old. But after that, I kind of leave it on the side a little bit until I went to college. So my pro tennis was like fairly short, maybe like half a year, 1 year, something like that.
And can we just get this out of the way? The Rafa hitting partner.
So this I've been clarifying to everybody. Everybody's saying I've been regular sparring partner. That's not how it is. I am from Mallorca. He's from Mallorca. When he needed somebody and he didn't have anybody else, then I was going. You know, because my coach used to coach him or knew
Rafa,
him. Yo,
Ra-
the same with the other players. You know, it's just that in the islands, it's a small island, so you
which
don't really
Rafa?
get.
Rafa Nadal, not
Oh,
Rafa
okay. I
Stewart.
was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's. I love Rafa Hewitt, but Nadal is more interesting.
Yeah, so definitely it's a matter of that I am from Mallorca, and there is a lot of big tennis players going to Mallorca, and that's an island where you don't have now. Probably you have a lot of tennis players, but back then, I'm talking about maybe what is it, like 10 years ago or something like that, maybe more, 12 or 13. You didn't have that many high level players that people could practice with. So it's either flying other people or just playing with the local high level that you have, and it happens to be me at that time.
So can you get him as a dubs partner?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Pickle,
No.
come on.
I wish. That would be pretty sick. Drive and crash.
Yeah, shoot your shot. You got to shoot your shot.
Yeah.
So you guys are the guys here at least are singles, very good at singles, I should say. And
Etta, do you play singles?
Dream Breakers and MLP. That's as
I just want to make sure Jason did his research properly.
Yeah, well, I know you're. And actually, the women's field is actually much smaller than the men's, right? The men's fields are getting kind of ridiculously large with the qualifiers. But as single, I don't want to call you guys single specialists, but you guys are very good at singles. What do we think of backdraws in singles? Are they necessary? Like, do we need to be doing this anymore? I feel like it is absolutely going to crush your bodies. What are your thoughts on that, J-Dub?
Yeah, I mean, you do get a lot more tired because you have to play like a lot more matches afterwards, and then I mean, you don't get any prize money. Well, like if you lose before semis, anyways, you don't get like a lot of money. You don't get a lot of points. I mean, I guess you do get a little more experience, or you can just like work on your shots in the back draw, just stuff that you wouldn't normally do in like main draw. But I mean, other than that. I don't know. I don't find it great in singles at
Yeah, it's
least.
pretty tough. Jaume, what about you?
I think the bad draws. All right, that's what I would do. If I put a back draw, I would just cap it to the quarterfinal players, just to decide from 5 to 10 who, like, how's the thing. Maybe I would even give like a small amount of points to those players who make quarterfinals as a bonus if they play the quarterfinals. Because usually what's happening anyways, like the good players don't play the back draw, so
Right.
it's a little bit of a nonsense thing. Because for instance, let's say all the tournaments that I played, I lost in second round against the top 5 player, like J-Dub or J. De Villiers or whatever. So my duper goes up, correct? And then I play back draw, and I even if I make fifth, my duper goes down because I play all these like 7 matches of people that has lower duper than me. That even if they make like 7 points, I win 15-7. My duper goes down. So I'm stuck in the same duper all the time because I play 2 good matches against main draw players, and then I play 10 in the back draw against like average players that I'm supposed to win, but I'm just a little bit tired, and I play around a little bit until like fifth or sixth position. So if I would like to have fifth or sixth spot, I would cap it at a higher position in the main draw, like quarterfinals. Other than that, I would just get rid of it because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And Etta, let's talk about this. You when it comes to picking a partner, particularly for mixed, because typically mixed would be the next day after singles. Like in this past tournament, you played with Deckel. Deckel's not playing singles much anymore, I don't think. But do you look for a partner that is not going to be playing deep in singles because they're going to come in pretty banged up? Does that factor into your choices?
No, actually, I think having someone who's pretty proficient in singles is actually really good for mixed, just because the guy can be a little bit more aggressive because I mean he's used to being up, being up at the kitchen line trying to take the volleys or whatnot. So it's actually I think it's a great skill to have. So I don't like discount it if they like played singles the previous day before.
So let's talk about this in uh, let's see, in MLP, you were on the Pioneers, and that's with Ben. And did you play with Ben last time?
Yes, I've only played with Ben. Yeah.
Okay, so Ben obviously covers a lot of court.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this because this is always a very hot topic when we see video of a male player kind of dominating the court and taking 80% of the balls. As a female player, do you want that? Do you want the male to take over like that, or is it something? Because we always hear in the comments like, she can play, let her play. Where do you fit in that?
I love it. I feel like the guy should take as much court as he feels comfortable with. It puts a lot of pressure on your opponents. And I'm there to, play my role. So if he wants to be big and take just as much, like Ben does, I think that's a great thing. And I think that, I think the comments don't really like show that it's actually a really great thing. Me personally, as the female on the court, I like it.
And side question, how was it getting drafted on Ben John's team?
It was surreal. So Dave Fleming called me, and then he said, "Okay, here's our team, Ben." And I was like, "You mean like Ben Johns?" There's no other Ben, but no, it was crazy. So like, I'm really grateful. We have a great team, and
Was there added pressure? Were you like, oh man, Ben Johns, I gotta step up, or were you stoked, or a mix of both?
It was a mix of both. It was like, oh dang, it's the number one player in the world. We gotta live up to, that.
I know how it feels. We beat Ben actually. He was using a frying pan, but we beat Ben.
Oh, was he putting it on her?
What's that?
Was that?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a lot of pressure, but I went beast mode, and I carried Jason. It was amazing.
He took 80% of the court. It's fine with me. J-Dub, why don't you take more of the court? Georgia was asking that because I played doubles with her the other day. She's like, man, I wish J-Dub would cover the court like that.
Georgia's a beast.
Is that right? Yeah, that's true. She is. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just need to do more footwork exercises. That way I can move more on the court. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe soon though.
J-Dub, real quick. So speaking of being a little bigger, right? Like we were talking before the match versus the Johns, and I was saying like go out and talk some smack. Maybe like like nasty Nelson, something to throw him off guard. So after the match yesterday, do you take anything away in terms of strategy and how you might play them next time? Like maybe being a little more brash and in your face with them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always talking with like my family or my partner, or like Dylan, my partner, about just like other stuff we can try next time. Which I mean, we're always having to figure other stuff out because obviously we haven't figured the right strategy to beat them yet. But just always like doing a little bit of film or just talking with like my family who obviously watches, so just try and figure it out.
So J-Dub, I was also talking with your family this week, and they told me you learned a valuable lesson about knocking on a door before you enter a room. You want to unpack that for us?
I'll do a little bit of it. Yeah, so we have my mom's the sister and her family here, and I expected my mom to just be in the room, so I didn't knock or anything, and then I go in the room and I see my mom's sister, and I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. So I just immediately like turned around, kind of just walked away, and I was like, next time I'm just gonna knock on all the doors around here at the Airbnb just to make sure.
That ended much more much better than I was anticipating. So
well, he's leaving out some details, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible I am, but that's probably for the better.
I think that's right. So guys, this week obviously a huge success for all of you guys. You guys were on podiums and huge success. What is your outtake from this week? What do you take and bring into MLP, which is coming up next week? What do you take away from this week and build on for MLP in 2 weeks? Etta, let's start with you.
Just the things that I learned, and the confidence that goes into having gone through like a pretty tough field this past weekend. And so I think it's just that the lessons, and really just taking one tournament at a time, because we have San Clemente next. So we'll focus on that, and then from there, take whatever I learned there to
And are you playing with Megan again in San Clemente?
San Clemente, I am playing with Irina and Federico.
Got it. And so I mean, this was a great kind of warm-up round because you're playing with your partner in MLP. So you get a little bit of repetition, and then you take silver. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Etta, do you read anything in the kitchen, the Facebook community?
I try not to.
It's okay if you don't, but did you see the post from Mitchell? I think his name was Mitchell Johnson. Did you see his post about you?
No. What did he say?
He said, I don't know when exactly, but Etta Wright will be number 1 in the world.
Oh, wow.
Now you're going to start reading
it. Exactly.
Now I'm going to go.
I can see it. I think you're playing amazing pickleball. So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Jaume, how long before you're going to be drafted into MLP?
Hey man, I've been trying, I've been putting my name up there, but nobody looks at me. I'm just a singles player for now, but I really would love to play MLP. Like, I think that would be amazing. That's exactly the crowd that I can feed and that I feed off. So if there is any team listening right now, come on.
I mean, in all honesty, do you think your doubles game is there yet?
No. I mean,
respect that.
It depends, it depends who I play with, when I kind of get in charge of the play a little bit, I tend to do a little bit better. When I play with a good player, the problem with me is that I don't know what the hell they are doing. I don't know when they are flicking, when they are not, So it's if I play with somebody like a couple of times and I learn their patterns, I definitely can hang in there, no problem, because I have fast hands. I can drive, and I just need a little bit of a what's the word? Organization if I have that, I can definitely do anything. But if I am just wandering around and then my player all of a sudden lobs or speeds up cross court or whatever, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like I don't have that many options yet.
I'll tell you, JW before you hopped on was saying he was going to ask if you wanted to play doubles, but I guess he's not going to. Oh
well. If you help him with the Spanish, I think that could be a great formidable partnership.
Well, that's the only way that I'm going to help him in Spanish.
Right, fair enough. Yeah. Dylan's Spanish is terrible.
Dylan, he tried to do. I know he tried to have a tutor, and I think it was in Newport. I was like, "How's your Spanish going?" He's like, "I quit that. I mean, every time I would have to keep going. I would have to keep learning it over and over, and I just don't have the patience for it, or something like that. So I just quit." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right then. I'll ask Gabe the Spanish questions then."
JW, your uncle gave you some advice on what classes to take. Is that right?
Well, I guess sort of. He was telling me like improv class, like just stuff to try out and stuff, because when I'm back at home, I'm always looking for stuff to do. So he's like, maybe you should try that. I'm like,
you do improv?
Okay.
I'll show up.
I will be there. Let's do improv. JW, come on.
Should we do a little right now?
Well, okay.
Should we do a little right now?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. Whenever I'm doing improv class, I'll invite all you guys, and then you can come on.
So not right now.
No, not right now.
I have a question. So J-Dub, how many times have you've played with Dylan in the finals? A couple times versus the Johns, right? I love
Yep.
Dylan. I think he's an amazing player. Just as like like if you look at the NFL, right? Like if a team makes the Super Bowl or the playoffs a couple times, they'll fire a coach if they don't win the Super Bowl. But like how long do you all of y'all? How long do you stick with a partner? Before you decide to make a change if you're not winning titles.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that me and Dylan like are really close because we're always like right there with either Ben or Riley, whoever's on whichever side. So I mean, I know it's just a matter of time before we start winning the finals. We just gotta find like the right strategy and just I mean the chemistry is already there. So that's a big thing right there.
Etta, what about you? Sorry, Jason, I'm taking your.
No, go ahead.
No, I would say it's first just finding the chemistry, with your partner. And then from there, I think if you just communicate and kind of decide to either split ways or you want to continue. For this year, I'm like mixing around with a lot of different partners to kind of test, what's working or what's not. And so, yeah, I don't really have any advice in that regard, but
You and Megan look strong, but
yeah.
You do. And Jaume, what about you? Being a single specialist, I would think it presents some hesitation for partnerships in doubles, because you probably aren't looking for another single specialist. You want somebody who's a little bit more established in doubles.
Yeah, so well, at the moment I play with another singles specialist. So we are both like just driving and crashing. It's like a little bit of a wild doubles. We actually, before we enter the court, we try not to play pickleball. That's the only way that's going to go good for us. It's just driving and crashing. That's because of the fact. It's not that we don't know how to do it, but if we play against two doubles specialists their way, we're always going to lose. So it's kind of a complicated situation for me because people might think that I play worse than I do, but it's just the situation that I am at. I have to do what I have to do because I'm playing to win. I'm not playing to just dink a little bit around. I know that if I dink 10 times out of 10 with J-Dub, I'm going to lose 10 times out of 10. So might as well speed it up and see if I hit him or something, So yeah, definitely if I had to choose a partner, it would have to be somebody that is really good at dinking and sitting and waiting for the counter, because most likely I'll be the one starting the speed up, right? So yeah, and of course, like matching my energy, that would be a must. That there's no way I could play with somebody.
We've interviewed a lot of kind of quote unquote single specialists early on in their career. Julian Arnold, Christian Alshon, Federico, who were all kind of like coming up playing singles, and now all of them are double specialists as well. So I see big things for you on both sides, singles and doubles. But I appreciate your humility in saying that you're not a great doubles player right now. But I think you're going to get
yeah, definitely. Like in doubles, you have to learn like way more than you have to learn on singles, because it's not only about you; it's about also your partner, right? So you got to know what's their strengths and their weakness, and in tight moments, that's what's gonna count, right? So definitely. And now that I'm kind of based more in the mainland, I have the chance to actually practice doubles with players that are up there already, and not like just random local, for example, Hawaii people, which they are great, but they're never gonna play the same balls that I get in the PPA, So that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to, because I think I learned really fast, and I'm stoked to start having chances to practice with these people that is gonna. Yeah.
Where are you living now?
I don't really have a house now. Okay. I just left Hawaii.
Where are you right now?
Well, right now I'm in my friend's house in California, but I think I'll be bouncing around a little bit for the entire summer. My plan was to just start practicing a little bit and dedicating a little bit to pickleball, more than I ever did, because before I didn't. And so I started practicing like 15 days ago, like maybe a week and a half before the tournament is when I left my tennis racket home, and I came to the mainland and I started playing way more pickleball. And it paid off in
And you made a
singles for sure.
finals.
Yes, that was the first time, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is how it should be, you know. And now I'm stoked for doubles because I really haven't had many doubles practices or matches yet. Like, it's literally every time that I played a tournament, I come out of the quali. Never lost in the quali. But then when I came in the main draw, I played twice against Colin and Ben Jones, one time against J-Dub and Dylan, and one time against Fede and Pablo, and one time against Tyson and James. So the chances that I get are zero. so how am I gonna do anything? You know, I make 7 points against them, and I'm like, cool, made it. You know.
Are you going to go to MLP?
Well, today I had a conversation with some people, and I might go to just watch, you know, and meet people and stuff, because
Yeah. Not
What just
sure.
I don't know, but we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That it has to be like a connection. Also, that what I realized, that the team has to know you a little bit, and that it's not based of duper. It's not based of anything else. That you have to have a name, and you have to like be connected to actually start playing MLP. And my goals for the year are MLP, Gold Card, and all the above. I want to do it. Yeah.
I see a lot of pros who aren't playing MLP go, and then they end up in a lot of rec games or practice games, warm-ups with the MLP players. And I think it's a good way to get doubles reps. Just my 2 cents. I could be completely wrong, but.
And Etta, where are you living now? Because I got to say, I'm really jealous. You were, I guess, raised maybe in New Zealand, and then Hawaii.
Yeah, born in New Zealand, raised in California, went to college in Hawaii, and now I'm living in Utah. So
What part?
Not bad. Those are some
Salt
pretty
Lake
places.
Yeah.
South of Salt Lake City?
Yeah, Utah County.
Nice.
Pretty good. And Jaume, just one point of clarification. You went to college with Connor Garnett?
No, you're making that up.
Okay, I made
it.
Yeah. I think the guy you played with at the Masters.
That's Ryan Alley. Yeah, exactly. He played with Connor. I did play not with, but against Pablo Teles' team. And that's it. I think from the very top players, that's the only player that I shared semesters with our competition.
What team was he on?
I think he was on West Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did y'all know of each other? Like Jaume, did you know of J-Dub, and Etta, did you know J-Dub, and vice versa, just from the tennis world?
I knew Etta. I didn't know J-Dub. Definitely not.
Yeah, I knew Pablo though before pickleball, because I actually played tennis with him back when I was younger, maybe 14 or 15, something like that. But yeah, that's about it from the tennis world.
One day there's going to be a kid out there that says, I knew J-Dub from an improv class.
Oh my god! I don't know about that. I don't know how many classes I'm going to take from that. That might just be a
Come on, J-Dub.
class.
You'll be fantastic. You're gonna blossom. I can feel it.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate the time tonight. Thank you so much. Congrats on all the success. This weekend was really fun to watch you, and we look forward to seeing you this week in Newport or San Clemente. Where are we going? San Clemente, and then
you're not going. I'm going, so you're not.
I'm going to watch them. I'm going to watch them.
I'll be there. Okay, so we can hang out because I'm dedicated. Okay.
Just make sure he doesn't go in the VIP.
He's always there.
He is always there. But we earned that right. We beat Ben, so VIPs for life.
But seriously, thank you so much to each of you for your time, and just so stoked to see y'all's career kind of unfold here.
Thank you so much.
for having us.
Thank you.
You got
Thank
it.
you.